was it? Was it Ted Cruz?
It was Carson.
Oh yeah, it was Ben Carson just stood there and people.
He got confused.
Look at him now. I want to be that person.
Aline, bring in the politics early in this. Bring it.
Resist.
Go to 10 seconds in the cold.
So the thing that we do with this panel every year is what's cool is it's a rare opportunity to get a bunch of different showrunners from across the board on stage. And one of the first questions we always ask for the benefit of the people in the audience who kind of don't know what you do, we ask the question, what is a showrunner? How would you describe, Marc, your day-to-day life as a showrunner?
Well, every day is different. The way I tend to describe it, like to my parents who have no knowledge of anything entertainment related, is I explain it's like being the CEO of a company, but a CEO where you work, like Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, supposedly he's the CEO of Facebook, but he also codes. That's kind of the way I describe being a showrunner.
It's all the fun, but it's also all the crap work too. Right?
Exactly. And my parents are like, "What's Facebook?"
Well, for a number of you on stage, this is your first show-running gig. This is sort of the big time. Jessica, you nodded your head. I mean, this was sort of a big moment for you to take on a show. But what have you learned so far? What are your pros and cons of this gig?
Well, you get to do the thing you love most in the world, and you have very little life. So it's been a bit of a trade-off in that way.
And Sera, Sera, what have you learned as a showrunner?
I think the longer I do it, the more I manage to work a little bit of personal life in, actually. But we were just talking backstage about how it seems like as soon as you master something new happens. Like, you never really feel like you're on top of this job. You feel like there's going to be a new unexpected explosion at any time. You just get more and more used to handling them as they come. It stops being a surprise that it's always a surprise.
And Aline, you did so much film. What did you think of TV when you started focusing there and sort of the pace and the life of working in TV?
Well, a screenwriter is the boss of nothing and no one. A screenwriter is there to serve, and any authority you get is by virtue of the relationships you can form, aka how much you can suck up to people. And but showrunner, head writer, those. You're in charge, and the great thing about that is you're in charge, and the challenging thing about that is communicating that and kind of motivating people and creating an environment that you would like to work in, and that's the fun of it. I mean, I think the fun of it is, as you never get as a screenwriter, is to like make a workplace that you yourself would be excited to show up to. And then also to figure out how to not become just gigantically obese, because there's so much eating and so much sitting.
There are a lot of snacks in the writers.
A lot of snacks, a lot of talking about snacks, a lot of discussion of snacks, a lot of anger about snacks, and then a lot of lunch anticipation. A lot of lunch anticipation.
Half the day.
Yeah.
So that's being a writer, right? It's all about eating. How do you guys actually get any work done?
We talk about lunch, and then everyone goes and gets a snack, and then we eat kind of continuously. And I have these pistachios that I special order that are a bit of a room obsession, or people just eat them to support my obsessions. But there's a lot of snacking, there's a lot of talking about food.
Well, Sera, one of the things I think must be kind of cool about being a showrunner now is that I do feel like there's a little more freedom than there used to be in terms of content. And I think how, on The Magicians, for example, you guys get to throw some F-bombs around, you drop the audio, but you managed to pull that off. I mean, talk about how standards content is a little easier. Is that true?
I've learned a lot about negotiating, dealing with standards and practices, actually.
Yeah.
You would think that there was a firm line, and it definitely, like there's a book of law somewhere about content, but there isn't really.
Yeah.
There are certain commonly held beliefs about what words you should use, like on broadcast television. It's a little more of a gray area in basic cable. So sometimes what happens is we get told we have to dip a little bit more of the F word, but we actually say the C word this season. And it was a negotiation. We didn't have to dip it. The standards and practices person, who was very, very nice, watched the scene. I mean, first they told us to take it out of the script and we forgot. And then
forgot, quote unquote.
Forgot. And, we've had to cut that word before. It sometimes slips out of people's mouths. But the ultimate decision was based on the fact that the character was calling herself that word. And so they let it go. They gave it to us like a present. And so we treated it as such.
Is it the classic negotiation where, you get, maybe 3 S words an episode, or,
We get unlimited S words.
Do you?
Yeah, it's really just the word fuck that they have. Which is like my favorite word. And so I'll write a script and then I'll take 3 or 4 of them out, and then the actors on the day will say it like 100,000 times. And I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, I wrote on the CW for a long time, and that's the land of adult men use the word freaking instead. So I just would rather say it and dip it and not say it. It just feels more real to me writing the dialogue. Everyone I know uses that word constantly.
Do you have infinite dip fucks this season, or do you all...
Fuck dips.
How many dip fucks do you got?
It's slides, if it feels like a really fuck-heavy script,
Sure.
they'll give us a no.
Just real quick, everybody, I want to read the back of this. Welcome to WonderCon. Please be aware that many members of the audience may be under the age of 18 years. Thank you very much for participating in WonderFucking-Con.
So it's okay. Do you find that the limit gives more power to the times that you use it at all, or no, you just want to use it as much as you can?
No, I mean, I think we self-limit.
Yeah.
One of our writers, Henry Alonzo Myers, he says that he counts the number of fucks I used in my last script, and then he lowers that by 3, and then that's the script he turns in.
Okay,
yeah.
that's smart.
Well, Raphael, you unlimited, right, over at Netflix?
Yeah, but we do actually try to limit ourselves a little bit. We give ourselves 1 non-dip fuck a season because we think that, that's something that I actually took from shows like Mad Men and Breaking Bad that would be limited. They get 1 a season, and I found that when that came, it really was this powerful moment, and that by saving it, we kind of choose each season where do we want to put our 1 F word of the season. But everything else, yeah, C word, S word, we go, balls to the wall.
Well, B's to the W, literally. Well, Aline, Sera mentioned CW, of cource. Infamously now, I think, you've had a little bit of a struggle with some of
I
your
wanted
songs.
to be able to bleep or drop or dip, and they won't let us. But we went to the wall to get. There's a song where one of our characters sings a song that was a shit show, and we asked them for 2 bleeped shits. So they literally gave us 2 shits. They gave 2 shits, and we got to bleep 2 shits, and that was a big thing for us. But some of the stuff we have to do is Rachel had written this brilliant song, and one of the refrains was, "Oh, your balls smell weird. Your balls smell so much worse than I feared." And they were like, "We're never going to get this passed." So I kind of talked to the CW and said, what are some ways we can get this passed? And they said, well, if it has a double meaning. So we put in the script that the guy that she's sleeping with has a stress ball, and when you meet him, he has a stress ball. And so in the song, she's holding his ball and saying, and Rachel was like, I do not want to do that. It's so corny. It's a sight gag. I don't want to do it. I was like, do you want to sing about his balls or not? And so she did it, the ball was. It's actually kind of funny. It's actually pretty funny.
Mary Tyler Moore had the same problem on her show.
Yeah.
That's no weird, but
That goes back to I Love Lucy, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Lee, also the songs. You've obviously infamously had to negotiate some songs you've had to pull back or not do, or eventually get to do. Period Sex, of course, comes to mind. Talk a little bit about that and the songs and what you're able to get away with and what you still haven't been able to get away with.
Well, Period Sex, for those of you who don't know what that song is, we have
take a
a
guess.
show about period sex, and then she sings period sex, and it's just a little song that we cut short. And Rachel, you know Rachel a little bit, Rachel wanted to do it in every episode. She wanted to work it into she would literally walk into the writer's room and I'd be like, we're not doing it. They're not saying it. They're at a mall. They're not talking about period sex. So she managed to get it in 3 times. And then she was desperate to do the full-length version of it. So at the very end, she grabbed the director who was working, she got a dress, she ran out, she had written a full-length version with our other songwriters. So you can see it online, and it's really disgusting. And so we did it as like an online extra kind of thing.